The Nuggets lead the Heat 1-0 in the NBA Finals. I wasn't surprised, game one. I knew that Jokic and Murray were going to play a big part offensively if the Nuggets were going to beat the Miami Heat. What I was very surprised about in game number one is the way the Nuggets manhandled the Miami Heat. Miami is a rough team, and we have seen what Spoelstra coaches. He coaches defense, and he coaches team defense. The way Denver was getting into the paint at will, they completely dominated the paint. When they needed to shoot and they needed to step behind the arc, they were doing that pretty well as well. But what really makes Jokic so special is the way he sees the court. How many times in game number one did he make passes that me, you, or any Joe Schmo probably couldn't even dream of making? This guy is the best passer I've ever seen. Not just centers. This guy is the best passer I have ever seen in NBA history. In the 30 years I've watched basketball, it's unbelievable. And to think that this guy was a second-round draft pick. To think that this guy didn't win back-to-back-to-back MVPs this year because Joel Embiid was crying that he hasn't won an MVP yet. What I could say about Jokic is when you bring your team to the finals and do it manhandling the Western Conference the way he did, nothing could be hidden but the truth that this guy was the MVP of the NBA. They couldn't stop Aaron Gordon. Does anybody remember Aaron Gordon, where he came from? He has been on the Denver Nuggets for the last 3 or 4 years. And people forget that he's been in the league for a significant amount of time. Aaron Gordon was dominating the paint all game long. And Caleb Martin, who I believe was the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals, not Mr. Butler, okay? Jimmy Butler won the MVP, but I thought it was Caleb Martin. He was the most dominant force and the reason why Miami beat the Boston Celtics. He couldn't do nothing. He was defending Aaron Gordon, and he was pushing him around like a rag doll. It was complete domination. And if this series continues to go like this series could be over in 4 games. I said it was going 6, and everybody says, well, the game was close. The only reason why the game was close is because the Denver Nuggets, they knew the game was over with 5 minutes left. And they were just playing around. They played it like a pickup game. There was no way Miami was going to come out winning that game. And every single series that Miami won in the playoffs this year, they have won the first game. They did not win the first game against Denver. It was embarrassing. And I know Spoelstra, after the game, he was very calm and collective at the press conference. And that's what Spoelstra does. He said, Jokic is a man-child. Murray has developed into one of the best point guards and one of the best guards in the NBA. We all know what they're capable of doing. But if you look at the third and fourth options that Denver has, it's amazing. And I've been saying this, and I'll say it again. Denver is the new Golden State Warriors. Practically every single player on that roster was drafted. All their star players were drafted by Denver. Jokic, Murray, and Porter. All 3 of those guys, they have a threesome. Just like the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson. These guys are in their prime. Murray has been hurt for 2 years. He couldn't stay healthy. Before he got hurt, his development was unbelievable. He was as big of a dominant force in the playoffs than Jokic was before he hurt his knee. And now Jokic is developed into the best player in the league, and now Murray is finally at the top of his game again. And now when you have these 2 guys in the primes of their career, in the next 3 to 4 years, they can win 2 or 3 titles. They're that good. This guy's 27 years old, and we're comparing him to the best passers in NBA history. Magic Johnson, LeBron James, you name him. He is as good as any one of them. The Nuggets could shoot. They can get into the paint. They can dominate at the free throw line. There is no weakness in this team. And they have a very good coach, too. Everybody talks about how great Spoelstra is throughout the playoffs, and especially in the Eastern Conference Finals against a rookie coach. Malone is just as good as Spoelstra. He hasn't won the title Spoelstra has won, but he's never coached as good of talent year in and year out as Spoelstra. This is finally the first year that the development of the young players, the players that he helped develop over there in Denver, that's going to give him a chance to win an NBA title. So I think Malone's going to have a chance to win multiple NBA championships with this team, and they have cap room too. So if they really want to bring in another guy to come and help out, they actually could. So it is very fun to watch. I'm excited. They had chances to win a championship with Carmelo Anthony and Allen Iverson and Chauncey Billups. They tried to put an all-world team together. It never worked out. The furthest they went was the Western Conference Finals.